What's your approach? The approach gotta be more gorilla on it.
When I came to Lawrence, Kansas to go to University of Kansas, when I was in the dormitories, which is basically something people do when you don't know anybody else that lives in the area and you are just getting situated, I met a variety of musicians, including, who I owe respect to, Johnny Quest, who is still rapping and DJing in Lawrence and producing. Nesbeat, who is part of Archetype, was producing. Among others. Richard Gintout, who's also a writer and composer, guitarist, singer, drummer. Those are people who I connected with in college when I went to my dormitory at KU, Hashinger Hall. And in addition to Thelonious J. Irvin, who formed my first group called Minton's Playhouse, which was my first group I was ever in. I did the beats, he did the rapping. We did some good songs. We did a couple little mini shows there at the dorm. Nesbeat was the first producer I ever met, and he had a keyboard. He had the ASR 10, I think it was. He can correct me. And I was blown away by the possibility of actually knowing someone who made beats. I thought that was great. So previously in high school, the closest I came was buying a Radio Shack mixer. I bought a Gemini turntable, and I had my dad's Harman Kardon CD player, and I would simply press play on a CD and then play a record and like record them on top of each other and just listen to the way the two songs mixed. And I have a whole album's worth of stuff like that I will put on a podcast on INnate Sounds podcast on iTunes, so search for that. But I called it SOS, Song Over Song, and that was my first like compositional attempt. But so then moving to Lawrence, I met some people that actually made beats, met people that rapped, and as a result, eventually parlayed my way into a group that I created with Joe Good, who at the time was named Doctor Who actually he wasn't named Doctor Who because he wasn't even doing anything anymore aside from going to school, but Jamal Gamby, and we started a group called Sounds Good. Ended up kind of being the name, wasn't necessarily supposed to be the name, but I did all the beats, he did all the rapping, and then that was pretty much a success in Lawrence. Around that same time, I started a website called lawrencehiphop.com, which I think actually made a bigger impact in terms of an attempt to unify area hip-hop groups. It had a forum. I need to shout out Kevin Green, who helped me design that, as well as some other folks. And eventually moved to Kansas City from Lawrence. Eventually Joe Good, who was the rapper in Sounds Good, stopped rapping, and then I had all these beats because I was used to making beats. And the whole time, honestly, I made more beats than he was able to rap to, which is fine. So I did other side projects like Algebra Pro and The Find. The Find was with the ID of Archetype, and Algebra Pro was with Approach. But then after that, I was like, oh, I don't have anybody to rap. I'll sing. I did Small Smoke. That was found by DJ Day in California, who's a great producer and DJ, who then passed along to his label in Germany, Melting Pot Records, Melting Pot Music, who I now release things with occasionally, in addition to INnate Sounds, my own label. I've also worked with Subcontact in Japan for a Sounds Good album called Midnight Music, which was a compilation of other Sounds Good songs, in addition to Record Breaking in Philadelphia with Junior, who released some 7 inches, and we may do some in the future. But pretty much now it's INnate Sounds crew. It's always evolving because it's kind of hard to pull together a whole lot of artists and make it work when we don't have any purely business people. But at this point, I've kind of regained control, and we're just trying to create a process that'll help us grow in the future. With INnate Sounds, that was my label brand imprint that I put on Sounds Good, as well as Dino Jack Crispy, which was my first alias, as well as the Find, Algebra Pro, Gun Jack CDs. Having interned at Subverse, which was a hip-hop label in the 90s, very small label in New York, I realized the importance of just having some sort of brand to attach in terms of a record label type thing. That stemmed eventually into just being me again when Gunjack wasn't so active and easily found. and Joe Good stopped rapping. So I was like, all right, let me pull together all these people that I work with already that I want to work with, because there's a whole lot of, when you're an artist trying to figure out how do you make money, how much should you be reimbursed for what you do, how much should you charge your friends, should you charge your friends? You know, if you want a flyer, should I charge you? Should I not? I don't know. If I'm gonna sing on your song, should I charge you? I don't know. You know, like, it's hard to figure out how it all works. So I was like, let's just get everybody together, not charge anybody anything, and just group up, you know, make it all work together. It's like a collective. So at this point, like me, Leonard Destroy, Daru, Reggie B, Cess Crew, which is most dichotomous and ubiquitous, Beat Broker, Smooth Confusion, Jock Max, Beat Will, Organic Proof, Taha. There's a whole lot of artists who are producers, live musicians, singers, rappers, mainly based in the Midwest, but sometimes connected around the world, who have kind of a real raw ability to make quality music, in my opinion. And my hope is that as we all join forces and continue to make music, that we create the most honest and worthwhile music we can. That, I mean, my whole thing personally is like, I am not trying to like make everybody famous. I'm not trying to do it like by any means necessary. Like, oh, that's hot nowadays, we gotta get on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. I just want us to be as true to ourselves and as true to what we want to be doing as we can. And in the process, make music that will stand time, you know, test of time, and represent us as accurately as possible. Because I think there's value in that. I think a lot of people that are artists nowadays think that there's value in doing what other people value monetarily by what sells well and whatnot. But I think that time and time again, through progress of human nature, it's proven that what is really valued is innovation and quality innovation. And that's something that I definitely appreciate and strive to contribute to, beyond all else. You know what I'm saying? As personally, most of my recording nowadays is singing. So as a singer, something I feel like I need to say to people is, when you hear my music, know, as you already probably do, that I'm not trying to be Neo, I'm not trying to be Usher, I'm not trying to be anybody that you feel as though would be the standard for proving you can do that. I don't really care about doing that. Like, I'm not trying to. If I wanted to prove to do that, it'd be a mess, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to prove to you that I can sing notes really clearly and like have an arranged song that feels very comfortable to you. I really don't care if it's comfortable to you. I want it to be something that you might not have experienced, but that you feel as though is the truth. And so that's really all I strive for. That's probably also why I don't really perform that much around here. As I was telling people in Germany, I perform more in Germany than I ever have in Kansas City as a singer. That's why I was there. But in Kansas City, I'm not really trying to convince a whole lot of people that they should like bow to me or anything. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of performers want a whole lot of people like giving them props or whatever. Like, I've already feel like I've got enough props to like build my confidence up. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care at this point. So my goal in music, whether I'm producing or singing, is to make things that feel right to me in the moment, and that hopefully you may enjoy and gain some sort of comfort in, so that you may be yourself, and so that you may tap into whatever you have to offer the world. I really don't have many desires beyond that. You know, if I could eventually make a living forever off doing music and associated things, that'd be great. I'm still kind of working to that point.
It's your approach. The approach gotta be more gorilla on it.